Hi, in this tutorial I'm going to show you how to make what I call a portal panel. It's the same thing from my previous videos, so if you want to find out what it is before you make it, go ahead and click on that and come back. To start off, we need to make a prop dynamic and go to the properties. It's a regular entity, so it's not hard to find. Then I need you to go to world model, and then in there type in the filter 64 times 64 and select the top one, which is called 64 by 64 interior MDL. Now the next step is to pick a sequence that you like for your portal panel. I've used the 64 in and out straight. So if you close that and then click apply, you see it changes the world model of it, and now you've got your very own panel. Now if you want, you can rotate it like I have here, and then you can take that and make a box that will fit around it. Now I've already made a box, so I'll just drag that over. I've made it a perfect size for me. You can make it any size you want. And now I'm going to let it just overlap the front of my panel, and you'll see why in a second. Then make it hollow to a wall thickness of 4. Now what you need to do is click on the block you've just made and ungroup it, and then click on the front panel. Then step the front panel out just in front so it lines up perfectly with the actual panel itself. And as you can see, it also doesn't have any gaps around the corners. Now click the front panel, press Ctrl+t and change it from a funk detail to a funk brush. Once you've applied the settings, it updates, and you can change its name to something along the lines of panel brush, and then you set its parent to panel, which is the actual dynamic prop inside the box. Now, once you've extended the panel, you can actually get trapped behind it, so this is a nifty trick to stop that happening. What you do is you make a block exactly the same size as the inside of your box and apply a texture called invisible. This is a clipping texture that works on players and objects, so you won't get stuck behind it. If I delete the front panel for a second, you can see it on the inside. It's the see-through purple bit, so just undo that. You also need to set this as a function brush with Ctrl+t, so just change that to brush. Then set its parent to panel as well, and then set its name to something like panel clip. Now you've got to make a logic relay which actually controls the panel's animation, and a logic auto which will attach everything to your panel and make it work correctly. And then you have to add the linked portal door, which is often referred to as a world portal, and place that directly in the center of your front panel. Being directly in the center is very important because this is where the rectangle is projected from in a radius format. When you're using world portals, I find it a lot easier if you look at the top view and angle it accordingly to that, as that is the way it will face. We'll also give this a name of portal and change the parent also to panel. Now's a good time to click on your panel brush, find out the exact size of it, and set the panel width and height to half of the width and height of the actual brush. I'm sorry about the random clipping, but I thought you'd prefer to get this part rather than wait to the end to find out you need it. And now's time to move on to the logic auto. Now in here you want to go to outputs and set it to on map spawn, pick an entity other than panel, set input to set parent attachment maintain offset. Now for the parameter override, you have to put in, spelled exactly with the underscore, panel attach. Now just copy and paste that a couple more times so you have one for each of your entities. Change the entity to the appropriate one, and then the other one, then apply and just go on to the relay. Now you've got to give the relay a reference name, something simple like relay. Then you've got to go to the outputs. You have to go to on trigger, pick your panel, go to set animation, and then you set the animation that you wanted to set. Like I said, using 64 in and out straight. So I'll use out for the on trigger, and I'll use in for the on user. And to save time, I will make it so it also triggers the portals. So click on trigger portal open, then apply, then on user it can close. Now because of how world portals work, you need to give it the panel time to move before it turns on. So I usually use 1.05 seconds. Now, to save you having to do all that every single time, I found an easy way to do it is, so long as everything's named correctly, you copy and use paste special, adding a prefix to it. Then it pastes it exactly the same, just with a slightly different name. See, for example, this one's got 1 before, and then if I do paste special again, change the prefix to 2, and then have a look at it. This one says 2. So that way it's a lot easier to integrate it into any map, pre-existing or not. So if you select it and take it over to a level that you've created, this is just a very simple box with a button inside and a player spawn. Then you just line it up with the outside of the box to make sure that the bottom layer is in line with the other bit. Now, if you copy and paste the front panel and then extend it through the wall, after lining it up of course, you can then use the carve option to make a perfect sized hole for your portal panel's door. So just select all of that, move it down and slot it in there perfectly. Zoom in, make sure it's just the door lining up with the hole, as you can see it is. And now you need to link your portals together. What you do is you go into there, click on linked partner, then select the opposite portal. So in this case it's to portal, and I've already got the other one over here. So then I make sure that that one is also linked to the same portal, so one portal, and click apply, and now they are bound together. Now it's time to learn how to interact with your portal panels. I've pre-set up a button. All I have to do is change the reset time from 1 second to about 8. This is quite important, or else you won't be able to get through your portal. Then you go to outputs, where as you can see I've got on button press, trigger relay 1 and 2, and on button reset, reset relay 1 and 2 using fire user. Now you just have to compile your map and see what you've got. So here you've got the room with the button that we just created with the 2 panel portals inside. So if I press the button, the panels open, and I can't walk behind them because of the clipping tool. And the portal's initialized properly, you can walk through them. And when the timer runs out, they pull themselves back into the wall. You press the button, you can actually shoot a portal through it, which you can then find on the wall wherever it's landed. Another helpful feature is that you can't then reset the button, which would cancel the portals until the actual loop is over. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you did and would like to leave a comment or click on like, I'd appreciate all the feedback. Good luck with your map making.